Do not invest just for the sake of tax. Hindi ganun ang pag-i-invest. That's just, I would say, yung magiging benefits natin dahil nag-invest tayo, yung benefits natin sa tax, parang fruits, kumbaga. Ano na lang siya, it's on the side. Parang something that will follow you when you do something sa investing. Kasi remember this, isa ang investment in real estate that you can have a big tax shelter, a good tax shelter. Isa siya sa highly recommended pagdating sa mga different kinds of investments. Marami kasing mutual funds, stocks, bonds, what else? Other types of investment opportunities. Pero real estate is different. Ano daw ba yung better rate? Is it the same lang ba ang rate ng mortgage, regular mortgage, or yung mga home equity line of credit? So maybe yan ang isa sa mga sasagutin ni Albert sa atin moving forward doon sa kanyang presentation. So it's already 6:10. Filipino pa rin tayo. Filipino time pa rin tayo kahit nasa Zoom call, ano? Ba yan? Papagalitan natin sila. Okay. Alright, take it away, Albert. So si Albert is from National Bank. Ang National Bank has one office in Winnipeg, nasa may Provincial, and the 6 banks in Canada. So without further ado, si Albert na ang magkukwento sa inyo about this bank. And basta alam ko si Albert we've been partners for many years na.
Right.
So take it away, Albert.
Oh, thank you. So meron akong hinandang 7-slide presentation sa atin, parang rental property financing 101.
Okay.
Very high level. At the last slide, ita-touch base natin kung paano ba yung free financing process to tap the equity of a house. And then kung ano yung mga structures na dapat natin gawin, no, para structure natin ng maayos. And then i-discuss din natin yung differences ng home equity line of credit to sa regular mortgage. Later on, I will discuss this to sa dulo natin. No? So without further ado, I'll be sharing my screen. All right, can you see my screen? Rental property financing. Okay, there we go. So again, my name is Albert. I work for National Bank. So si Mel kilala ko, si Alvin na nakatrabaho ko na rin. Hopefully, Romel and Christy, makatrabaho ko rin kayo in the future. Okay, but Mel and I have been working for quite some time. Mel, mga almost 3 to 4 years na rin kami nagkakatrabaho, and then we have a lot of mutual clients together, and we did a lot of great things for our client. I'm proud to say. Okay, all right. Okay, so topics to discuss, no? I broken down into 3 topics, where to start, and then yung mga types of residential properties and what are the financing available. And then lastly, yung sa equity, no? What is equity? The capital that you can tap. Na it's mostly misunderstood by most of our kababayans on how they can take advantage of the equity sa bahay nila, no? I've broken down some simple steps in buying a rental property. It's more complex than this, but I'm trying to distill it down to a few steps. So, step number 1. So, we need to understand our goals. Kung ba't ba natin bumibili ng rental property, no? Some people, they are looking to lower their housing costs. Like, they're buying a duplex and then titirahan nila yung isa. So, it's a way of, generating extra income and at the same time lowering down your housing cost. It's commonly called as house hacking, and marami na rin tayong kababayan na ginagawa dito kasi mahal nga yung housing sa Canada. So they buy duplex para tirhan nila yung isa, tapos yung isa papaupahan nila. Most of the infill houses now in Winnipeg are designed this way, wherein first 2 floors are owner occupied, then basement is a rental property. And they are renting yung basement, usually they're rented out for $1,200 to $1,500. Yun yung mga nakikita ko sa market ngayon on a not so good address, but it is what it is, right? Or second, are you looking to increase your cash flow, or are you looking to do capital appreciation? So most of our investors are like this, no? They want to increase their cash flow over time, kasi usually pag bibili ka ng rental property ngayon, at least maka-break even ka on year 1, that's good. But eventually, as you pay down the debts, the rent increases over time, then your cash flow increases. So ginagawa nilang retirement plan to. And then at the same time, capital appreciation, property prices goes up. We know that property prices goes up, and so investors want to take advantage of the capital appreciation. And then step number 2, evaluate your financial resources. Rental properties, usually we require 20% for down payment unless you're going to owner occupy it. So owner occupy, duplex, triplex, and fourplex, then we can do less than 20% down payment. Second question, do you have adequate savings, or do you have equity that you can tap? No. So aside from your savings, do you have other sources that you can tap in order to leverage and help you purchase the rental property? And then step number 3, talk to a mortgage professional like me, that can help you guide in the financing process and to evaluate your options. Our advantage is that we get to see all of the financial picture. So we get to advise you and align your goals kung ano ba yung gusto mo mangyari doon sa project na ginagawa mo. And then step number 4, talk to a qualified real estate broker about your budget and expectation, like Mel here. So not all real estate broker are the same. I had horror stories of investor clients that are talking to hindi naman seasoned real estate professional that are advising on rental properties, and it's hindi nagiging maganda ending, minsan na overpriced sila, or you have to talk to someone na understand the process and understand na hindi ka dapat mag-emotional sa pagbili ng property. One of the common mistakes that I find with rental property investors that are buying is they become too attached with the property. Therefore, nag-overbid sila or whatever, which is not supposed to. Kung owner-occupied, okay lang kasi titirhan mo, di ba? Pero kung rental properties, you have to be on point on your cash flow and your expectation, and you have to be ready to walk away from a deal, right? And then lastly, make an offer, purchase the property, and then rinse and repeat. So when I say rinse and repeat, as you pay down the debt of your existing property or habang tumataas yung value niya, now you have another source of funding, which is the equity of your rental property to purchase another property. Okay, so I've broken down the types of residential rental properties na available sa market natin. Type 1 is a single family to fourplex. So this is the type of deals that I am financing. These are the common rental properties, and then usually almost all banks do finance this type of transaction kasi this falls under the standard residential program of most lenders. Type 2, multifamily, 5 doors and above. These properties are more for seasoned investors, and usually they fall under the commercial lending arm of the banks. Si Mel, sanay na sanay dito kasi marami na siyang multifamily ngayon. So she can advise you in both type 1 and type 2 properties. Second to the last slide, what is equity? So common question is, what is equity? Simply is, equity is a difference between the value of your house and existing debt. So for example, if your property has a $600,000 value and $200,000 mortgage, so you have $400,000 in equity. You can reborrow up to 80% of your property value, and then you can use that 80% to buy a new property. And then if structured properly, yung interest on the borrowed money that you are going to use as an investment, that is tax deductible din. So last slide, so sample computation. Bel, can you see it?
Yeah, medyo maliit, palaki mo konti. Yeah, that's
okay. How about this? Is it better?
Yep, that's better.
So, for example, ito yung case natin. Investor seeking to raise 100,000 as a down payment for a duplex na worth 500,000. So, common, marami lalapit sa atin, I want to buy this property but I don't have the savings, I don't have the down payment. Or ang savings ko, like common, nasa RRSP naka-invest, I don't want to use it, right? Kasi pag withdraw ko yung RRSP ko, that will be a taxable event. So, what we do is that we look at the client situation. So, let's say yung value ng bahay niya is $600,000. Theoretically, the maximum loan amount we can borrow is $480,000. And since meron siyang existing balance na $200,000, then we can do a new financing of $280,000. Kung ang kliyente kailangan lang is $280,000, we don't want to lend the full $280,000 kasi magbabayad na siya ng interest sa money. So the way I usually structure this type of transaction is ipo-portion out ko yung debts. So, yung portion 1, ito yung existing niya, let's say $200,000. And then, gagawa ko ng portion 2 na $100,000 for the down payment. It's very important na nakahiwalay si portion 2 na it is treated like a separate loan on your property for tax purposes. So, kasi as ayaw mo ihalo yung 100,000 kay 200,000, this is the common mistakes na nakikita ko. Inahalo nila, and pag nag-claim sila ng tax, hindi mo na ma-separate. Pero kung nakahiwalay yung naka-portion 2, yung gagamitin mo sa investment, then madali defend kay CRA na dito nang galing yung pera, ito yung 100,000, you know. And since $480,000 yung approved facility sa kanila, usually what I do is I set up a home equity line of credit of $180,000. So, itong $180,000 na to, nakaabang lang siya. The client only pays $7 a month in monthly management fee. If they're not using it, they're not paying any interest on the home equity line of credit. And ang advantage, I don't know with other lenders, but with National Bank. So, let's say yung $180,000, nakita ka na another $500,000 property that you want to buy, you re-borrow $100,000, you can convert that into a regular mortgage at any time. So, at the HELOC, as of today's market, mas mataas yung interest rate niya compared to sa regular mortgage. So, a HELOC is about 5.7% today's rate. A regular mortgage is about 4.3%. Is about 4.3%. It doesn't mean na pag nasa home equity line of credit siya, stuck ka sa home equity line of credit, right? Of course, we don't want you to pay higher interest all the time, right? So you have an option to convert the home equity line of credit without reapplying to a regular mortgage that you can amortize for 30 years then. So nilalagay lang namin yung HELOC usually as a available funding source, and then pag nagamit na natin siya, then we evaluate whether it makes sense for you to convert it. Pero kung meron ka naman, expected na malaking pera papasok for some reason, then why convert it, diba? Bayaran na lang din natin. Okay, and then transaction 2. So how we finance transaction 2, we have $500,000 that we're buying, down payment of $100,000 coming from the refinance, and the mortgage of $400,000 coming from the bank. Ang advantage din netong structure na to, for example, as you pay down the 200 and 100, yung principal, a portion of the principal paid on portion 1, portion 2, nadadagdag dun sa available money that you can borrow to reinvest again in the future. No. And again, I want to emphasize, we want to do this because you want to use that money to invest, not to spend it on, not to spend it on travel, not to spend it on somewhere else, right? So we want to use that money wherein you will earn additional money from using that money. Kasi may mga iba tayong, clients, which is human nature. When nakita nila na meron silang perang ganyan, diba, na-access nila, they use it to travel, to purchase new car, right? Nothing wrong about that. But the ideal situation is that we use this money in order to make money for us as well.
Exactly, Albert. Alam mo, sa totoo lang, ako sasabihan ko kaagad, there is yung ating sinasabi, yeah, there is nothing wrong about that. But, pumaray na muna tayo kasi the reason why we set it up that way is for you to use it as an investment, diba?
That's correct. Yeah.
Human nature, as you said, pero lagi nating i-warn yung sarili natin. Kasi at the end of the day, who will gonna be impacted pagka hindi naging aligned yung iyong initial purpose into your pattern of investment right after, di ba? So that's one thing na kailangan nating maintindihan in this kind of situations. But nagtago na kayong lahat, di ko na kayo nakikita. Anyways, I have a question, Albert. Yung dun sa sinabi mo kanina na home equity line of credit, na 180,000, diba? Dito sa example natin.
Right.
This can be converted into a regular mortgage just in case in the future. Pero hindi na sila magiging subject sa evaluation or will hindi na.
Yeah, wala nang credit check, wala nang application. You just call the bank and we can convert it for you to tulad.
Yeah, kasi let's say, nakakita ulit ako ng another, what's this? Itong scenario na to, i-profile lang natin. Nakita ulit ako ng another rental properties, another duplex na ang down payment ko is another 100,000. So, I'll just get that 100,000 and then do the same transaction tree naman, purchase another rental property.
Yes, proportion tree natin, yeah.
Magiging. So, and then, you're gonna left behind by 80 grand doon sa hilok mo. And then so on and so forth. And then, as you said, as you paid off the mortgage every single month, yung principal portion ng pagbabayad mo, it will top up doon sa available hilok mo in the future as you keep on paying it, right? So, yeah.
Yes.
That is one of the ways ng accumulation of rental properties. A majority of my clients, maybe ang tawag ko nga mga estudyante ko na nag-i-invest before knowing the multifamily world last July. Ganito yung pattern nila for investment. And as Albert mentioned, ang dami namin ganitong klaseng clients na parang kung titingnan mo hindi possible dahil they have their existing mortgages in their house pero meron na silang enough equity to use, and then will tap on the equity and then purchase another property. So the beauty of this kind of investment is number one, nandito tayo sa Winnipeg na parang ang property dito, as long as you have that kind of direction na when I find a different kind of opportunity where I can invest this kind of assets, kasi you're storing money. This is the thing. You're still storing money. You're using your money na, although it's OPM kung tawagin, di ba Albert? It's an OPM, hindi mo pera, na-generate siya doon sa equity ng property mo as you keep on paying it over such period of time. So itong access na to, ang tawag namin dito ni Orly is leverage. Other people call it leverage, other people call it opportunity. Binigyan ka ng opportunity to tap into that money para magamit mo siya. So smart way. Ngayon, it's just a matter of math kung papaano mo siya palalaguin in your rental portfolio. Yung concept na BRRRR, na dito din siya na-i-inclined. So, meaning, if you buy a rental property, let's say single family, duplexes, triplex, fourplex, ang tawag dito sa category na to yung type 1 na sinasabi nga ni Albert, which is under residential mortgage pa, no, Albert? Hindi pa siya pumapasok sa commercial. Tama ba yun? Pag 5 na, is it 5?
Yeah. Retail pa siya? Retail lending pa. Up to 4plex retail lending, 5plex and above goes to commercial.
That's correct. So, yun yung natin dito. Yung opportunity for ma-handle ni Albert yung inyong transactions in that particular scenario. Like, I have this money, wala pang lumalabas na opportunity into a big multifamily investments. Instead na nakasit lang to sa bank or andyan lang, walang ginagawa, let's convert it. Pwedeng gawin yun eh. Ang pinaka-importante lang doon is if the opportunity comes and our priority is a big multifamily portfolio, kailangan mabilis nating ma-convert yung inyong mga rental properties na yon into tawag nito, into cash or into a capital contributions towards the next. So, yun yung challenge. Kapag hindi ka maingat bumili ng mga rental property, basta ka na lang bili. Pagdating sa exit, that's the most important thing. If you are getting into this kind of portfolios and you have at the back of your, in your plan, na andun yung, I wanna buy big investments. Dapat yung portfolio na to ng mga small scale nyo ng rental properties can easily be converted, meaning mabilis ibenta, mabilis siyang mag-liquidate, hindi ka mahihirapan sa pag-exit mo. Majority na nagiging challenge ng mga rental property, so mga investors who's getting their money into small deals
Gusto ko na lang dumaan.
is hello Gary.
Hello po.
Okay. So ang nagiging problema ng mga small tawag nito portfolios na ganito, basta ka na lang bumili, mura kasi yung property, sabi kasi magpaupa para kumita at least, right? Ganun ang mindset. And then here comes the time na may nakita tayong magandang multi-family portfolio na kailangan nating maging partners. Okay? So, ililiquidate mo ngayon yung iyong mga rental properties. Here comes it na ang hirap ibenta ng property mo. 6 months na, for sale pa. Diba? You don't want that. Okay? You need to understand yung importance ng timing pagdating sa transition. Okay? Hindi ko kayo pinipigilan na mag-invest ng duplex, triplex, fourplex. It's okay. As long as you have in your mind na ang importanteng investment where you want to grow your money into in the passive way or in the passive form is dun sa malalaking investments where you're gonna just put your money into it and it will generate income and give you cash flow. Kasi as we all know, scale is very, very important pagdating sa investing. That's what we are learning here from the very beginning. Sa single family, duplexes, triplex, fourplex, may scale sa fourplex, okay? Pero single family, no. Duplex may scale doon, 2 yun eh. Triplex, 3 yun eh, right? 4 pag fourplex. The more is better dahil sa tinatawag natin na multiplier effect. Pagdating ng ratio na pinag-uusapan natin, okay, vacancy rate, 2 ang unit mo, wala na bakante yung isa, ilan na lang ilang percentage ang vacancy mo? 50%, di ba? Kasi 2 yung unit mo. Pag 4 ang unit mo, nawala ng tenant yung isa, ilan ang vacancy mo? 25%. Kung 100 yung units mo, nawala yung 10, ilan ang vacancy rate mo? 10%. So the bigger the portfolio is, the better. Yun na nga lang, kaya ba nating mag-solo doon? Hindi. That's where yung sinasabing partnership or yung sinasabing group acquisition comes in. Other terminologies are syndication ang tawag. Real estate syndication, like you have your money put into something na magkakasama kayo. Hindi ka nagsosolo. Okay, and everything is dadaan sa lawyer, dadaan sa bangko, everything i-evaluate yan. And this is the type of portfolio na pinaghahandaan natin. Now, the beauty of Albert being here is meron tayong opportunity to tap yung ating equity na naiipon sa bahay. Okay? Now, maingat lang tayo dapat dahil hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay disiplinado tayong lahat. Okay, as Albert mentioned, isinet up yung equity para sa investment. Pero anong nangyayari in reality, I would say more than 50%. Alam ko, Albert, more than 50% na nagre-refinance at sasabihin, gamitin sa investment yung pera nila only to find out at the end, ginamit sa pang-travel, ginamit pambili ng sasakyan, ginamit pambili ng mga gadgets, etc. etc. Pinang-renovate ng bahay, well, that's another thing too. Hindi lahat ng renovation sa bahay ay nagdadagdag ng presyo sa bahay. Just make sure, nasa renovation kami, alam namin yung mga renovations that would add value to the house or minsan cosmetics lang. Okay? So maingat dapat tayo sa ganon. Hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon meron namang line of credit eh. Diba? Gastos dito, gastos doon. Only to find out, hello, sino magbabayad niyang iyong line of credit na yan? Diba? It's an additional burden to you and your family. Kaya minsan natatakot yung marami dito eh. Kasi pag nakakarinig, majority horror story ang dating eh. Diba? Uy, nag-set up ako ng home equity line of credit, gagamitin ko sa business eh. O, ayun na. nagamit na nga sa business, hindi business. Nagamit siya, supposed to be for investment, hindi napapunta sa investment, napapunta sa mga equipments na hindi nag-generate ng cash flow. Always remember this, don't buy anything that will not give you cash flow. Okay? Pag pinag-usapan ng investment, that's the key. If you buy something, it has to give you something. Tawag nito, ideally, every single month. Okay? That's how you will evaluate investments. Kaya minsan, pagka pinag-usapan, okay, single family home, okay, yes, pwede ka mag-invest doon. As long as your numbers will tell you na nasa positive cash flow ka. Pagka ikaw pa rin ang nagdadagdag dun sa yung binili every single month, it's not an investment. Okay? It's a liability. Asset ang ating i-acquire. If we will put money into something, we have utang, especially utang. Asset dapat ang puntahan yan. And ang definition ng asset is something that will give you money every single period. Okay? Whether monthly, quarterly, yearly, that's an investment. Okay? Those are assets. Kaya dapat marunong tayo noon. Marunong tayo ng ganon. So, anyways, do you have any questions for Albert? Kasi pagdating sa finance, and especially it's residential, kung paano kayo matutulungan doon sa inyong acquisition or refinancing, Albert is one of the person na lapitan nyo. Okay? Isa siya sa, well, over the years, I think, Albert, kung ilang taon ka na sa mortgage, minus your 6 months to your first company, doon tayo magkakilala. Tama ba? So, and through thick and thin, pinagdaanan namin ni Albert yun. Kaya, someone that you can reach kahit gabing-gabi na, kahit Saturday and Sunday. Naku, ano mo, Albert, madadagdagan ng trabaho mo yan. Most likely, siguro ilagay mo sa chat natin yung phone number para they can access it. They can call you, talk to you pagdating sa mga needs nila. 'Di ba? Kasi ito yung 'di ba lagi nating ito yung pinag-uusapan natin na paano ba tayo mag-start pag tayo ay mag-i-invest. Of course, you have to be financially ready. Pag sinabi bang financially ready, kailangan ba meron kang savings? Kailangan ba meron ka ng pera somewhere that you can access? Or ano ba talaga yung financially ready na sinasabi? So, kung ikaw yung tipong may typical saving, sitting, doing nothing, then you are financially ready. Kaya lang minsan pagka minsan ay hindi ka disiplinado at parang you are carried away by your emotions. So, financially, meron ka nga, pero emotionally and mentally, hindi ka ready. Okay? So, one of the important nitong session natin is, of course, kailangan in the knowledge part, dito sa ginagawa nating investment, kailangan alam mo yung gagawin mo. Okay? At the end of the day, it will be you who will decide na ako ay mag-i-invest. Hindi yan dahil nadala ka lang ng kaibigan mo, kakilala mo, o sabi kasi nila mag-invest. No. It is your own personal will, volition. Ikaw yon. Okay? And yung knowledge na yon, ikaw ang may alam nun. Hindi yun something na parang parang narinig mo lang, ang ganda kasi daw ng investing. Sabi kasi daw ni Ate Mel mag-invest. Sabi ni Albert, pwede siyang mag-set up ng equity para mag-invest. Oh, pwede ako mag-invest. No. You have to understand. Kaya nga nandito tayo. We keep on studying. Ano ba talaga to? Kasi remember, yung ating unang mga pinag-usapan, may numbers tayong dapat ma-master. na opportunity will come in. Opportunity ba talaga yan? Is that a real deal or not? Diba? Marami na sa inyo na marunong nun, and I'm so happy you know it. So hindi siya basta-basta. So saan tayo magsisimula? We have to be financially ready. Kung wala tayong anything on the side for savings, ano pang pwede nating itap na resources? Doon pumapasok yung presentation ni Albert ngayon, na meron kayong mga bahay, which is, actually, I'm not sure, Albert, in Canada, pero sa US, there is about 3 trillion equity sitting in a house doing nothing. May idea ka ba sa Canada, Albert, kung how much equity is sitting on our homeowners portfolio na nakaupo lang doon, walang ginagawa?
I have no idea, but because of the run-up in the property prices for the past 5 years, I would assume it should be huge. It should be huge.
Yep. Yeah. So hindi kasi tayo nahuhuli sa US. Ang ating statistics is somehow nagfo-follow sa what's going on in the US is what's also going on in Canada. Parang ganun ang ano na yan, ang relationship between these two countries in North America. Kaya lagi niyong tatandaan yung sinabi ni Warren Buffett. Kapag hindi tayo nakakita ng opportunity na ang pera natin ang magtatrabaho para sa atin, we will gonna work until we die. I don't know kung gaano kayo kasipag, pero kami kasi ni Orly medyo may konting katamaran kami. Kaya naisip kami na. Kaya pinagtatrabaho na yung pera namin. Di ba? Kasi I don't know. Marami sa atin na maybe hindi lang nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na maintindihan tong mga to, 'di ba? So kaya we're getting into this session para magkaroon tayo ng awareness. Kahit naman sa lahat, I would say sa maraming mga bagay na gusto nating i-explore, that one word, yung awareness natin, kailangan nandun di ba? Hindi tayo pwedeng magsabing, hindi ko yan alam No, meron tayong chance na alamin. I remember one of my prospective client, hindi ko sila naging kliyente. And ang naging ending namin, kasi gusto niya ibenta yung bahay nila, naawa naman ako, sabi ko, tita, kung ibebenta ko po yung bahay nyo, negosyo ko yan bakit hindi? Pero naawa ako sa inyo ni Tito, saan kayo titigil? Di ba? Hindi ko maatim na kayo ay ibenta yung bahay nyo and then mawawalan kayo ng parang pinaghirapan nyo and those kind of stuff dahil they're in a very difficult situation at that time. Pero ang sabi nila sa akin, bakit kasi hindi to sinabi sa amin? Walang nagsabi sa amin. Tsaka bakit ngayon ka lang namin sabi ko, kasi po ngayon lang kami dumating sa Canada. But anyways, hindi natin pwedeng maging katuwiran yon kapag tayo ay nasa mga retiring, on that age natin when we are about to retire. Yung sasabihin natin, kasi hindi namin nalaman yan wala kasing nagsabi sa amin. No, marami tayong pwedeng pagtanungan at marami tayong pwedeng malaman. Nagkakataon lang na masyado tayong busy nagtatrabaho na, well, yun yung nagiging, sabi nga, no one to blame. Sino ba? Tuturo ba natin? Pag magbe-blame daw tayo, okay, ito natutunan ko to. If you wanna blame someone, face the mirror. That's how you're gonna blame someone. That person in the mirror. Okay? Hindi dahil sa iba. Kaya, ano tayo dito? We are responsible, we are accountable dun sa mga nangyayari sa atin. And sasabihin natin, oh, kasi ganito lang kami kasi talaga and kasalanan to na kung sino man. Lahat na tinuro, government, employer, kung sino-sino outside. Kami pa nagturo, oh, kita mo, isa lang yung nakaturo doon, isa nandun sa taas, and then yung tatlo nakaturo sa'yo, di ba? That's how we point fingers. But anyways, if the earlier we acknowledge that it is me, if it is going to be, it is up to me. Diba? The earlier or the sooner you acknowledge that fact, the better person you will become. Kasi ikaw yung accountable sa lahat ng ginagawa mo. Tayo yung accountable sa lahat ng ginagawa natin. No one else, di ba? Ganon siya. So, anyways, ba't nagtago kayong lahat? Hindi ko kayo nakikita. Who has any question with Albert? O, yan. Hello, sister ko. Andiyan pala kayong dalawa. Ni Rocky. Napakasipag nito mag-asawa na to. Rocky, Maria, meron kayong question kay Albert?
Wala naman.
Late kasi
Late na kami naka-check-in eh. Kaya ano.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, we're just reading the whatever you have here. Nakikita namin. Yeah.
Actually, si Albert kasi, well, nakaranas kayo niyan,
Yeah.
Rocky. Dahil what you used is your home equity, part of your home equity into investing.
Yes.
Sabi lang dito ni Albert na in at National Bank, he always structured it according to what your purpose is. Kaya pagdating doon sa isang question yan eh, what if kung ang gagamitin ko is equity, 'di ba Albert? Yung bang interest noon magagamit kung tax deductible, which so I believe it's in one of Albert's slide na sinasabi niya na that is tax deductible. 'Di ba? Yun yung not tax deductible but it's an eligible expense kung tawagin.
Yes.
Yeah, it's an eligible expense. It's not hindi siya yung idinideduct natin sa tax payable natin, kundi yun na idinideduct natin sa ating income. Okay? So it's an eligible expense. Brian, may assignment ako sa'yo. Okay? I heard and I found out that we have an equivalent of 1031 exchange in Canada. Nakita ko na sa CRA. Ang tawag sa kanya is replacement. Okay, if you were gonna search on replacement, makikita mo doon very similar siya sa 1031 exchange. So, gusto kong i-explore natin yon. Alam ko mayroon kang ano dyan. We can actually explore that kasi hindi ko pa nakikita yung kabuuan. It's a whole section about properties, like investment properties. Pinapakinggan ko kasi yung tax-free wealth ni Tom Wheelwright. Very good book. Okay, if you would like to read some books, that is one of my recommendations. Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright. Grabbing information, and it actually parang nagkaroon siya ng confirmation. If you could remember one of our discussion about taxes, how you will gonna treat your tax. It's not a burden actually. Nandun siya sa libro na yon. It is actually a way of the government to help us in forms of benefits, in forms of credits. Beautiful book. Ang ganda-ganda. Matatapos ko na siya, babalik ko ulit. I'm gonna read it again and again. But that's one thing, kasi inaabangan ko, ano ba yung complementary ng 1031 exchange sa US dito sa atin? Kasi we're into real estate investing. Let's explore that. Ang tawag sa kanya is replacement. Na-segue ko lang yun dahil alam nyo ba na every tax we save is money for our family. Correct? kung makakasave tayo sa tax, that's something that we can put on towards our family and towards another investment. But the thing is, do not invest just for the sake of tax. Okay? Hindi ganun ang pag-i-invest. That's just, I would say, yung magiging benefits natin dahil nag-invest tayo, yung benefits natin sa tax, parang fruits, kumbaga. Ano na lang siya, it's on the side. Parang something that will follow you when you do something sa investing. Kasi remember this, isa ang investment in real estate that you can have a big tax shelter, a good tax shelter. Isa siya sa highly recommended pagdating sa mga different kinds of investments. Marami kasing mutual funds, stocks, bonds, what else? Other types of investment opportunities. Pero real estate is different. Kaya pagbubutihan natin to moving forward. And maybe we had session with tax before doon sa ating, I believe that was 3 weeks ago, right? Sa isang kasama natin na nasa Liberty Tax, yung isa sa owner ng Liberty Tax doon sa Ellis branch. It's tax season ngayon, kaya just exploring ano ba talaga ang pwede pa nating maging benefits aside from getting some cash flow on this investment. So that's another thing, advantage on our taxes. So yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Ang mga tax people ngayon masyadong busy. Ang hirap kuhanin ng kanilang schedule, but maybe sometime May, magkakaroon ulit tayo ng another resource person. Just like Albert na nasa finance. So, siya naman nasa tax. So, yeah. Anything else that you would like to ask Albert? Rommel, Christy, do you have any question? Wala pa? Okay. Alvin? Okay. So I think it's almost 7. Ang bilis ng oras. 4 minutes na lang pala. It's 7 o'clock na. So I think that's one of our thing to remember na in order to get ready with our investment journey, kailangan lagi tayong handa. Hindi yung tipong kung kailan nandun na yung opportunity, saka ka palang mag-pre-approve, saka ka palang magsasubmit ng documents mo, tapos ayun na, kulang na ang time, naiwan ka na ng boat. O diba? Kailangan ngayon pa lang, you have to be ready. Sabi nga ni Albert, yung process nun at ang pagsiset up nun, andun lang siya. It's there. Diba? Hindi mo kailangan gamitin. Hayaan mo lang siya doon. Pero again, maging disiplinado tayo. Ha? Maging disiplinado tayo. We have to use that funds only for investment, not for anything else. Okay? So, any other last word, Albert, before we go?
Thank you for the opportunity. So nilagay ko yung contact information ko sa message.
Thank
If
you
you have
very
any
much.
questions,
Ayan.
reach
So
out.
yeah. So get the information of Albert sa nasa chat box natin. And if you have any questions, I believe that Albert will be a very good resource para sa financing options natin. And ano nga ba kaibahan ng National Bank sa Di daw kilala yung National Bank, Albert eh. Ano bang kaibahan ng National Bank sa mga big banks?
We are competing in the same space. So National Bank is the 6th largest lender. So pinagkaiba, I would say, I mean, we compete with each other, pero I think where National Bank really stands out is our rental property programs. No? So for example, we are the only lender in Canada that allows up to 14 doors per borrower. So may mga client ako na meron silang 10 properties, 10, 15 properties, and we can still finance them. No? That is one of our strengths. So approval process namin very straightforward. Pag approve yung file, and then we can close quickly. So pag may mga rush deal kami ni Mel, kahit 5 days closing, nagagawa namin ng paraan.
I can attest to
Yeah,
that. That's very recently. Ilang araw ba yun, Albert?
yeah,
5 days?
yeah. 5 days. So, may mga last minute deals kami, marami kami. Kunyari, nagkakaroon ng problema yung ibang lender, so dinadala ni Mel sa akin. So, fortunately, nagagawa naman namin ng solution. But I think where we really stand out is yung sa rental property programs namin, wherein we are the only lenders that do allow up to 40 doors. And then kung professional, may mga professional package kami, so we offer good rates on line of credits and HELOC pag nurses ka, IT professional or government worker. So yun yung mga target clients namin, so we give really competitive pricing to those cohorts. Magkaka-additional branch na kami kasi National Bank recently acquired Canada Western Bank. So, meron silang branch sa Keneston. So, magiging 2 branch na yung... Yeah, magiging... Actually, close na transaction. We are in the process of integrating CWB to National Bank. So, before the year end, lahat ng CWB na nakikita nyo will be converted into National Bank. And what I'm really excited about that is we will have a strong presence when it comes to, small business financing. Kasi all of our small business financing guy nasa Quebec, but right now we have a presence in Winnipeg, in the West, because yung acquisition nga natin kay Canada Western Bank.
Yung malapit sa sa IKEA, yung Western Canada.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Di ba andun yung leasing office nila, which has 200 people. I'm surprised, ang dami nilang tao. Tapos meron silang branch doon, which is about 15 people. So those will be converted into National Bank eventually.
Nice. Good job. All right. That's a good news.
Right.
Good news. Okay. All right. I think that's all for tonight. Unless meron pa kayong questions na pahabol, but thank you very much sa time ulit, Albert. Appreciate you all the time. Laging laging welcome to... Uy, before you go, meron pang last question. Yung interest rate natin.
Go ahead. Interest rate, the rates has been going down for the past few months. We still expect it to go down. Usually, ang mga clients ngayon in terms of going to fixed, most of them goes to variable anymore. So, famous na naman yung variable mortgages because the expectation is that the rates will go down. So, it's either clients go into a 3-year fix or a 5-year variable most of the time.
Nice.
But hopefully it goes down. For us, nafe-feel na rin namin yung impact ng pagbaba ng interest rate sa market. I have been very busy since January. So usually January to March, it's my dead months for me. Kasi walang masyadong transaction. Pero because the rates have been going down, people wants to buy, refinance. I've been super busy since the start of the year.
Maganda pa lang yun, Albert. Isang avenue pa rin pala kay Albert. If before you do your renewal or you are looking for refinancing, Albert can do that too. Kasi alam nyo yun, it's better to shop every time you will gonna renew your mortgage. Tama ba, Albert? Alam niyo sa totoo lang.
Yeah, that is correct.
Ganun ako. Anything that I can save, I'll explore.
Yeah.
So, magre-renew ako sa bangko ko ngayon. Tingnan ko nga kung merong opportunity na makababa ng interest pag switch ako ng other bank. Always remember this. Our loyalty is with our family, not with anyone else. Okay? Sino ba magbabayad ng mortgage natin? Di ba tayo? Ba't mag-stick ka dun sa bangko mo ang taas ng interest rate, no? Di ba? Look, shop for something, okay? And always negotiate. Tama ba, Albert?
That is correct. And I would say as well, for me personally, yung mga mortgages ko, I only place dito. I also shop around, even if I work for a national bank. But so far, naka-national bank yung mortgage ko. But then, if I'm going to move to another lender, I would make it to a point that I only place it with one of the major banks or with one of the credit unions. I'm not a fan ng mga monoline lenders like First National, RMG, True North. Yes, you can. They can offer sometimes lower rates than the big banks, but then ang napapansin ko hindi sila ganun ka-flexible. Like for example, yung structure na pinaresent ko wherein you can portion it out. I believe you can do that for most of the banks, but you cannot do that for a monoline lenders, no? So, yun lang. I would say, kunyari, let's say, if you're gonna shop around, maybe talk to, prefer na i-place yung mortgage nyo into one of lenders, into one of a bank lender than a monoline lender.
Yeah. Actually, monoline pala ang tawag doon. Napatunayan ko yan, Albert. Yung mga kliyente ko na nasa mga ganong financial institutions, they're not open to refinance. They're
gonna pay penalty.
Yeah, they're not open to getting an line of credit HELOC. Wala silang ganon.
They don't have HELOC because they're not a bank, so they don't have the capital to set up a home equity line of credit.
Exactly it. So, yun yung limitations ng mga ganong klaseng financial institutions. Sometimes you can find them lower pagdating sa rate, pero wala silang ganong other services that you could expect from the rest of the big banks. So, just explore your options, okay? Hindi tayo limited to wherever we are. And tawag nito, as long as nandun yung benefits na makikita niyo for you and your family. So, yep, I think that's all for tonight. Thank you.
All right.
You again.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye-bye.